try to block every shot, and I'm gonna be physical with you the whole game. You know Stu gonna be physical with you. When you think of the Pistons, you think it's just hard work and just gritty basketball. That's just the identity you gotta have when you put on that jersey.
I'm not your average breed of canine. Not a good dog, I'm bad boy for life. I set the tone, don't care about no tick. Let it be known, I get my respect. Come in the lane and see I don't bluff. If you retaliate, that's on ya. Talking pundits, I hear your shade. Talking that shop, you must run this way. Tryna tell ya, look the dog palm, mess around, find out, Tryna tell ya, look the dog palm, mess around, find out, For some barbecue sauce, boy, you better crop a hill, cause I'm like that. When you're real for some barbecue sauce, boy, you better crop a hill, cause I'm like that. Mess around, find out. Detroit basketball. Wow. JB Bickerstaff is officially the coach of the year. After tonight, guys, I don't think there's any doubt. Doing this, what he did tonight against his former team, without the guys that were available, in the fashion that they did it, in the fashion that they ended it. Yeah, I think it's clear, guys. All right. I want to welcome everybody to the Downtown Dew Show. I appreciate everybody who was here. Go ahead and get comfortable, man. Get your popcorn ready. Kick your feet up. It's going to be a fun show. It's going to be a fun show tonight, man. Definitely a lot to unpack from this game, right? A lot to unpack from this game. Things on the box score, things that I saw with my two eyes, things that looked very familiar to things I've seen in the past. A lot, guys. So, yeah, man. Okay, let's get to it. So the Pistons tonight, they win their third straight game, beating the Cleveland Cavaliers at home, 133-122, and they are now 42-32 on the regular season. 10 games above 500 is a season best for the Detroit Pistons. They just had a season best 9 games last game. So they're continuing to ascend, continuing to stretch out their record, their lead, just the game count, and just their overall growth as a team is continuing to stretch. Tonight, coming into this game, guys, the Cavs were looking for win number 60. They were trying to go 60-14 on the season. They are, from a record standpoint, the best team in the Eastern Conference right now. But tonight, the Pistons said, y'all got to wait on that. 60 to win, not at our expense. Y'all got to wait on that. Not tonight, bro. Not against our coach. Not against our coach. Our coach. Not happening. The 12-game winning streak that the Cavs had on the Pistons, including that Darius Garland game winner earlier this year, is bye-bye. No more. Got snapped tonight. This, guys, for me, was one of the most impressive wins of the year. Right? It wasn't a wire-to-wire win. It wasn't a blowout win. Right? It had a lot of different variables to it. You know, they didn't just get off to a hot start, put the game away, and that was that. Right? This game showed a lot about this team, about how they need to approach the game, start the game, and it also showed how they need to finish the game. Right? When things were not peachy down the stretch, young teams show just how much they've grown in spots like that. Right? Young teams show that. And just for context, for anybody who didn't see this game tonight, this game looked like it could have been a blowout, but it did not go that way. Guys on the Cavs started getting foul calls, and to be fair, you know, guys just started knocking down shots, right? Very, very tough shots. And the Pistons had to respond, and they did. So before we get there, coming into tonight's game, the Pistons were down Tobias Harris and Cade Cunningham. Cade was out with his right calf contusion. Third straight game he's missed. And I know a lot of fans are concerned about that, guys, about, you know, Cade's current injury, but I'm not honestly too concerned about it. I think they're just being precautionary at this point. I think they're just being careful. The Pistons did release a statement on Cade that says recent imaging on Cade Cunningham's left calf confirmed a left calf contusion that he sustained during the game last week at Dallas, March 21st. He will miss tonight's game versus the Cleveland Cavaliers and will continue his treatment regimen with the Pistons athletic training staff. Cunningham will be listed as day-to-day moving forward. So, like I said, I'm not too concerned about that. He hasn't had any major issues this season. And I think, like many teams are doing right now, they're prepping for the playoffs. And I'm not saying he doesn't have any soreness or anything like that, because it was listed as calf soreness last game. I'm not saying he doesn't have that. I just think they want to get any nicks here, any bruises there, like everything that they can do to get him as fresh as possible for the playoffs they want to do, right? You're going to win some games, you're going to lose some games. And the Pistons, surprisingly, have just continued to win without Cade, which does not say they don't need him. For those who are getting ready to say that, it just shows how deep this team is, and the next man up mentality they have. If I can talk, I'm really excited about this game. All right, so the Pistons definitely got it done, man. They really got it done. This was very, very impressive. Very, very impressive win, man. With all the injuries going around, though, I'm okay with them resting Cade, making sure he's fresh. I'm totally okay with that. If we get any updates on that soon, we'll talk about that. But as of right now, I'm not too concerned about it personally. As far as Tobias Harris, man, like I mentioned, he was also out with a right Achilles tendinopathy. I don't really know what that is. I would imagine he just has some, soreness in his Achilles. Achilles is nothing to play with. So I'm not, once again, I'm not really too concerned because it hasn't really been an issue all season. So I think it's just something precautionary, right? He's been having a great season. He's been relatively healthy, and I don't think it's anything major. I do think, or I was thinking, the Pistons did want to come into this game staying put at 6. Dropping to 6, they're at 5 right now. They could move up to 4. But I came in thinking the Pistons may want to drop to 6 or stay at 6 or go back to 6 as far as in the standings, the 6th seed, while at the same time allowing guys like Schroeder, Sasser, and Holland to get minutes, which could be good for the playoffs. But we'll get to the standings later on in the show, so stick around for that. But let's get back to tonight's matchup, man. So, guys, with Cade out, with Tobias out, it was a great opportunity for other guys to step up. Dennis Schroeder and Malik Beasley got the starts at the 1 and the 3 in their places, and THJ stayed at the 2, and Asar had to move to the 4, from the 3 to the 4. So it was a different starting lineup tonight. I don't think we've seen this starting lineup all season long, with Schroeder, Bees, THJ, Asar, JD. I don't think we've seen that all year long. And I think they actually had Tim Hardaway Jr. listed at the 2 and Malik at the 3. Could be wrong. But this was a starting 5. And it was interesting because my first thought was, I don't know how this is going to look defensively. We're kind of undersized at the 2 and the 3, and at the 4 as a result too, because Asar had to move up to the 4. I was concerned about the defense, but the effort that these guys all showed tonight, the way they got after it, everybody defensively was very, very impressive, man. Very, very impressive. This team as a whole, guys, was just locked in. They were locked in from the first play of the game, right? They had a lapse in the third or late in the fourth quarter, but I think most of that was just shot making and experience on the end of the Cavaliers, having that advantage in tight games and know how to get back into games and just being together longer, right? This is still year 1 for the Pistons. They're still learning how to play together. They have not been in a lot of situations like this, right? Had not been a lot of opportunities for them to have big leads like against a quality team, against one of the best teams in the East, right? And to have them come back on you when it starts getting tight, when the crowd is not into it, when they're a little bit nervous and possessions are important and you're playing against a team who's inching back and inching back and inching back, and they know you have not been there before, and they have been there before many times, it can get tight. It can get very, very tight. And that's what happened tonight. This game got tight late, and the Pistons showed their mettle. And I got to say this, because the Pistons were up 20 points in the fourth quarter. They were up 20 points in the fourth quarter. And it looked like it was going to be a runaway. But like I mentioned, the Cavs got their way back into it, made some tough shots, and the veterans on this team really came up big, man. We're going to talk about guys individually, but guys like Dennis Schroeder, Malik Beasley, Tim Hardaway Jr., all guys who have been there before, all guys who have been in situations, in late game situations, in playoff situations, in big games, in big moments, those guys knew what to do. Those guys knew what to do in clutch situations, and that is exactly why Trajan Langdon brought them here. For these types of situations, right? Whether we make the playoffs this year or not, at the beginning of the year, in the offseason, this is why Trajan Langdon wanted to get guys here. This is exactly why. For these type of situations, to help our young guys, our young core, understand what you're supposed to do in situations like this. And every single one of those guys came up big in that fourth quarter. So I can't give those guys enough credit. I can't give Trajan Langdon enough credit for bringing in the right vets to help grow these young guys. And you've seen the growth. We've seen the growth from all of our young core, right? All these guys have played a part. Even Dennis Schroeder, who's not even been here 2 months yet, he even deserves credit for the role that he has played on this basketball team. Very, very impressive win, man. Very, very impressive win. Aside from the fourth quarter and the late game surge from the Cavs, right? This guys was, you guys know, I've been watching Pistons basketball since I was 3 years old, right? Since 1989. The year they won the championship was the first championship was the year I really can remember watching Pistons basketball. And the way this team plays is the way the bad boys play, is the way the 04 Detroit Pistons going to work Pistons played. It's the same thing, guys. The way this team plays together, you got 12 guys from 1 to 12, 1 to 15, whether it's the star or whether it's the last guy on the bench. They all have one mind. They all share one mind. One sound. Like, I always say here with bands, one beat, one sound, right? For my drumline fans out there. And that's what you saw. You saw just a unity that this team had and how they were playing basketball. Everybody played for each other. Everybody was playing for the next guy. They all had a sense of urgency tonight. The defense looked uniform. It looked uniform. They had a great energy about them to start this game, and it was led by their defense. I've said it before, but the Pistons are playing systematic basketball. They are playing systematic basketball to where they are playing to the scheme. They are playing to the system. The system is not built around one player. It's not that kind of thing. It's not a situation as to when you bring your bench guys in, you got to play a different type of basketball. No. Regardless of who's in the game or who's not in the game, you see the same basketball being played. That's why you have so many guys off the bench who do so many things that the starters do. You have Shooter who can do a lot of what K can do. You've got JD or Stu who does what JD does. You have a lot of the guys doing the same. You have Ron Holland who does a lot of what Asar Thompson does. Right? So you just see the uniformity. You see, regardless of who's in the game, they're going to play a very particular style of basketball. Right? And this is a great point by Sebastian. Isaiah Thomas said that bad boys didn't start winning until they became one. We're seeing it happen again right before our eyes. And Sebastian, you know what's interesting about that? Before the Pistons really began to contend, they were a very high-scoring team. Right? They are part of the highest scoring NBA game in history. I think it's like 166 to 164. And they won that game. It looked like an all-star game score. It was crazy. I think it was in the 160s, but they won by 2 points. That was before they were really contending. Right? They will maybe make the playoffs, lose to the Hawks in the first round, things like that. Right? But it wasn't until they got guys in here like Bill Laimbeer, John Sally, Dennis Rodman, right? Dogs, tough, physical, defensive players, right? James Edwards, Rick Mahorn, those guys, tough guys. That was when this team really began to take shape and take off. And this is how it felt watching the Pistons tonight. Defense, man. Looking at the third quarter and seeing teams have 70 points. That doesn't happen anymore. I know this game ended up in the 120s, but when they were in firm control, before they let their foot off the gas a little bit, they were playing Detroit-style basketball, guys. Like I said, it's been 25, 30 years I've been watching this team, and it's looking very, very reminiscent of those same teams. I got goosebumps, guys, watching this game. MB Well, Sebastian, you guys are saying this. Okay, my bad. Not in, I'll say, okay, so it wasn't in the 160s. It was actually in the 180s. So it was 40 points more than I thought combined from both teams in that game. Maybe, well, appreciate you. Yep, you guys are on it. Okay. And D. Davis, I see you too. Yeah, it was 83, 80. Right, exactly, Chuck Brewer. It was around that time. Right, exactly. Before 88, 87, steal by Bird, 88, losing to the Isaiah Thomas spraining his ankle, losing the game 7, 89, winning the first one, 90, winning the second one. This is before all that, when they were an offensive team. So even then, that's when it started, guys. That's when it started. Kiki Vandeweghe, right. Kelly Tripucka, all those guys. So, guys, what I'm watching right now has me very, very excited. For me to see this already, guys, not even just the talent, but just the buy-in, man. The buy-in. We're going to get to every single player and what they did specifically. But I had to start with that because the way they approached this game, I don't think I've seen it all year. The way they approached this game and just the sense of the way bodies were flying all over the court. Guys were getting their hands on balls, paws, just being disruptive everywhere, all over the court. The way they were rotating, covering each other's six. Helping the helper. Like the helper who's helping the help. Like, guys, this team is locked. This team is locked in, man. The vibes have not been this high in 20 years. The vibes have not been this high in 20 years. And that is not hyperbolic. That's not tongue-in-cheek. That is what my eyes are telling me. That is what my eyes are telling me, guys. Doing this already against this kind of team who really wasn't shorthanded. And we were down our backcourt and our starting four. To be honest, we were really down 3 starters tonight, if we're being fair. If you want to include Jaden, that's 3 guys who didn't play tonight, who at full strength really could have just broke this game wide open. But anyway, you guys understand what I'm saying. This team is special. And we're going to get to the standings later. But I will say this. I was looking at, who might be the best matchup and things like that. And, we want to try to get as far as we can. And certain teams are hot, right? I said this last week. If this team continues to play like this, I'm not afraid of anybody in the Eastern Conference. If this team continues to play like this, I am not afraid of anybody in the Eastern Conference. Doesn't mean we're going to beat anybody in the Eastern Conference, but I'm not afraid of anybody if we play this style of basketball. Ashton, would you agree, bro? If the Pistons continue to play like this, bro, I'm not afraid of anybody. I'm no longer looking at, I want the Knicks or I don't want them to play the Pacers because I don't care. They play like this, they can beat anybody in a 7-game series. Anybody. Because they're playing consistent basketball. No Cade, no Jaden, no Tobias. Up 20 points in the fourth quarter. Nobody scares me. The only thing that will work against us. By the way, everybody, drop some fire emojis for Ashton, the trainer, my dog, who always shows love to your boy. Drop some fire emojis. Drop some Pistons win agains. Drop whatever. Just show them some love. And I'm not afraid, guys. Nobody scares me. Nobody scares me. The only thing I will be concerned with this team right now is experience, right? We have not been in the playoffs before. We have not had deep runs in the playoff before. AB, they're showing you love, by the way. We have not had deep runs in the playoffs. That will be the only thing I'm concerned with. But what made me feel better about that is what we saw tonight from our vets. Right? What we saw from our vets tonight, those guys came up big. Those guys showed the young guys how it's done in clutch situations. Right? That is exactly what I love to see about this team. Trajan Langdon, guys, has not missed. He has not missed. Everything that he has done so far has been a home run. Coach Bickerstaff, Tobias Harris, Malik Beasley, Tim Hardaway Jr., Dennis Schroeder midseason. Hell, B-Ball Paul. All these guys have been positives on this basketball team. And this is year 1, guys. This is year freaking 1. We're doing this in year 1. And y'all talking about y'all want to trade. Man, if y'all don't stop with this trade nonsense, if you don't understand what you're looking at right now, if it ain't broke, don't even fix your mind to think about getting your toolbox out, guys. There's nothing to fix. There's nothing to add right now. We still don't know how good this team is. We still have no idea. None of these guys, our young core, have not come anywhere near their season. Even Cade. Cade is not at his peak, guys. He's balling, but he's nowhere near his peak. Jaden, nowhere near his peak. Asar, nowhere near his peak. JD, nowhere near his peak. Ron Holland, nowhere near his peak. Even Isaiah Stewart, if you guys watch tonight's game, is nowhere near his peak. Why would you mess with this? Trajan Landon, guys, is not touching this team. He's not touching this team at all, and nor should he for any reason. So, guys, this is going to be a very... Enjoy what you're watching right now from the Detroit Pistons. This is the beginning, guys. This is the beginning of the window opening, right? Everybody has a window of opportunity to make a run. Our door is just cracking open right now. So, guys, please enjoy this. Enjoy this. You can like keep track of what I'm saying right now. You can mark this down if you want. You can do whatever you want. You can start this video, whatever. I don't care. I know what I've seen before. I know what it looks like. This is what it looks like. Teams contending for championships. This is how it starts. Just like this. This is not fool's gold. This is not fool's gold. I'm telling you, this is not fool's gold, guys. If we keep this team together, it's going to get spooky really, really quick. It's going to get spooky really, really quick. So just keep your eyes on that. Remember what I said. I know what I'm talking about. Hopefully by this point, you guys have faith in me and can see that. All right. So, guys, let's go ahead and get into the details of this game now that I got that soliloquy out of the way. Shout out to guys who stepped up, man. We had some guys who got some more burn tonight. Guys like Sass and Ron Holland. They got some opportunity, took advantage of it. But everybody played a part in this win, right? Everybody played a part in this game. So, before I go any further, yeah, let's start with the starters, guys. Let's pull up the box score and start with the starters and see just how this game looked, right? Let's go to Dennis Schroeder first. And guys, by the way, every starter scored in double figures. And that's not to say the bench didn't show up too. We still got 30 points from our bench, guys. 30 points from our bench, 31 points from our bench. So every player who played in this game stepped up, scored, contributed, and not only just scored, but contributed in some way, shape, or form. They were stars in their role. Whatever that role is, they were stars in it tonight, right? And that's a beautiful thing to see. And the thing about this team, you never know where it's coming from. When you have a deep team, guys, you never know where it's coming from. You look at a team like the Mavs before they traded Luka. You knew where it was coming from. You knew at least where the play was going to start. Right? You could set your defense up a certain way. Now, he's unstoppable, right, offensively, but you at least knew what to prepare for. You knew how, you had an idea of where it might come from. This team, you have no idea where it's coming from. And that's just like the 04 team. That's just like the Bad Boys team. Same way. You had guys, you had your stars on your team, but you never knew where it was coming from. Pistons second championship, Vinny Johnson hit the game-winning shot to win the second championship for them, right? 2014, before that, the first Bad Boys championship, Isaiah Thomas didn't even win the Finals MVP. That will be Joe Dumars. Never know where it's coming from. 04 team, you could have given the MVP to 4 or 5 guys. You could have given it to Rip. You could have given it to Ben Wallace. You could have given it to Chauncey. You could have given it to Tayshaun. Like, you could have given it to anybody. Sheed. You could have won any. That's why this team is going to be dangerous. Because when you're deep, you have no idea where it's coming from. And when you have a point guard like Chauncey or like Isaiah or like Cade, who knows what to do with the basketball when they have the right guys around them, trouble. Trouble. Trouble time, man. I'm telling you guys, I'm extremely excited, man. I have not been this excited in a long time about Pistons basketball. Not 2016, when we went to the playoffs with Reggie Jackson, KCP, Tobias. Shout out to you, Tobias. Marcus Morris and Dre. I wasn't excited. I knew going into that series in 2016, the year the Cavs won, when they came back 3-1 against the Warriors, I knew that year we weren't going to beat them. I was just like, it's good to be back in the playoffs. It's been 8 years since we've been in the playoffs in 2008. It's good to be back in the playoffs. Let's see what we can do. Let's show the world that we are a competitive basketball team. That's all it was. And I was happy because the games were competitive, right? Guys like Stanley Johnson got a chance to make a name for themselves on the national stage, right? Like, we never expected them to win. 2018-19, played in the Bucks, got swept again. We never expected them to win. We never expected to win a champion. We never expected to do damage. We were just happy to be back. Blake Griffin on our team in the playoffs, that's dope, right? That was cool. It was fun. But we knew we weren't going to win. I've not been this excited since 2006, when I was thinking we had a chance to maybe bounce back from our 05 loss and get a championship, get back on track, right? That was the last time I've been this excited, guys. That was the last time. This team already is better than the 2018-19 team that went to the playoffs. They're better than the 2016 team that went to the playoffs. Going back to 08 is how good this team is. There hasn't been a team that's better than this team going that far back. That's how far back you got to go. This team is scary. It's scary, man. And other teams are watching us. They're not going to want to play us in the playoffs. Like, this is our first round matchup. All right. And Marvin, I'm going to get to this guy as well, because imagine this team with a guy like this. Y'all know I've been on a Nasri train forever, but you know why? Doesn't he fit? If anybody's watched him play, doesn't he fit what you saw tonight? Doesn't he just fit what you saw tonight? Wouldn't he just slide right in there in that Rasheed Wallace-esque, not the same level, not the same player, but as far as the type of impact he can have, a seamless transition, upgrading your team. Doesn't he fit that perfectly? Couldn't you see him out there in the court doing the same exact things? What JD was doing, what Stu was doing. Can't you see him doing those same things, except knocking down 3 balls when he's open in transition? Because that's what he does. He can shoot the blood out the basketball if you leave him open. Quick release, catch and shoot. Defense to offense, he's perfect. We saw tonight, guys. Defense to offense. Defense. It seemed like guys were knocking down every three-pointer in transition off a turnover. The momentum, the vibe it was just crazy. So, guys, I'm not going to get too far ahead of myself because I don't want to take away any credit from all the guys who played tonight. But you guys understand what I'm saying when it comes to that guy, right? But I wanted to say that, man, because this team is scary. It's scary. Okay, so that was Schroeder. Schroeder was very, very solid. Schroeder has 17 points. He had 10 assists, 7 rebounds, 1 steal, 2 turnovers, on 5 of 14 shooting, 1 of 5 from 3, 6 of 7 from the free throw line in 39 minutes. So, guys, he didn't shoot well tonight, but he played great. Schroeder did not shoot the ball well tonight, but he played really, really well, man. It's not always about shooting. He was a floor general tonight in this game. He was the leader tonight, right, of a young group against a very experienced and very high-octane offensive team. Schroeder stepped up, man. He led this team. He orchestrated the offense. He got after it on defense. He was so important to this team. Like I said, this team is uniform. You can have the next man up mentality when you have guys on your bench who can come in and do a lot of the same things that the starters can do. It's not just a mantra. It's not just next man up. That's, a lot of teams say that when they know they're not going to win because their best player went down. Like, imagine the Mavericks with Lucas in, next man up. No, they don't believe it. They don't believe that. Even as deep as the Thunder are. Next man up. It's tough without Shea. You can say it for morale, but you know you're not going to win. You know what I mean? Like, you only have that. And I'm not taking anything away from the Thunder because they're one of the deepest teams in the league and best teams in the league. But my point is that when you have guys on your team, like the Thunder in large part do, to give them credit, but when you have a deep team, when you have guys on your bench who can do the same things that your starters can do, and you can just slide them in seamlessly and they can just make it very, very easy transition for your team, the roster is just not all discombobulated because you're missing a guy who's so important and nobody else on your team can do that because you're not deep. When you have a situation like this, it instills confidence in your team. That's the benefit of having a uniform team, of having a deep team and not going and getting stars. You better hope that star stays healthy because if he doesn't, you're done. That's the point. And tonight, Dennis Schroeder did just that, man. Next man up mentality, right? Like, it's so nice to see Cade on the bench just chilling. and wins. Did anybody think the Pistons will be up 20 points tonight on the Cavs in the third quarter? I didn't. I said pregame, if the Pistons can keep this game close and they lose, I'm cool with that. If it looked anything like the Thunder game, I'm okay with that, right? Just compete. Just play the same way the last 8 or 9 games of the year. Get ready for the playoffs. You know how oftentimes we see regular season games, you hear the commentator say, man, this has a playoff feel. That's because they're playing like they're getting ready for the playoffs. It's a different intensity. It's a different energy. Tonight, this game had a playoff feel, especially towards the end. The Pistons were playing like they're gearing up for the playoffs. And like I said, I think we're going to see this version of the Pistons like we saw tonight, like we saw last game. We're going to see this team look more and more like this the rest of the year. You're not going to see a lot of letdown games. Coach is not going to let them. This is the time to be peaking. The Pistons want to be playing the same way every play, every game, every possession for the remainder of the season, including the playoffs. You got to gear up now. And this team is gearing up now. So I am telling you guys, we're going to see this version of this team, the last 8 or 9 games, 8 games, whatever. You're going to see this version. You're going to see this version because coach is telling them how important it is to gear up and to have that consistency about yourself every single game, right? And for a young team, you got to instill that early. And I'm sure he's doing that right now. So get ready to see this type of team the rest of the way. This is what you're going to see. It may not be as perfect, may not be as many shots getting knocked down. You're still going to see some mistakes because they're still working out some things. But from an energy and effort standpoint, you're going to see tonight's team more than you're going to see anything else. It's going to look like this. It's going to look like this. So Schroeder played well, man. He played very, very well. Very, very sound game from him. He did a little bit of everything, man. He did a little bit of everything. Defensively, like I said, he was scrappy defensively, man. He took charges. He was not giving an inch defensively. Even when he had a mismatch when I think it was Okoro had him under the hoop, right? He could have had an easy layup if he let him go. But he took a take foul, Schroeder, hard foul. He was not giving up a free shot or easy layup. He was not doing it. Hard foul, go to the line. Not dirty foul, just hard foul. Missed a free throw at the line. So good foul, right? Schroeder is a very smart player, very crafty player, experienced player. He's savvy. And he's tough. You know, and I once again, I said it before, I like how the Pistons are taking advantage of Cade being out to shuffle some rotations a little bit, to get guys different looks with each other. Like the guys who you wouldn't normally play with, you know, we want to see how you guys look together. We want to get you guys some reps so that way you guys can have a comfortability in case we need to throw you guys out there together. We saw more of that tonight. And it was some good and bad, but I liked it either way. It was a music I saw with JD and Schroeder. We've seen they're trying to iron the kinks out as far as the pick and roll, like their timing and things like that. Because Schroeder's used to Stu and JD's used to Cade, right? So you got to build that chemistry up with those two guys. So you see it offensively, and then defensively you see it as well, as far as how they guard the pick and roll, right? I saw a miscommunication tonight off of a screen pick and roll with Darius Garland. It was JD and Schroeder had a miscommunication, right? So what happened was Jarrett Allen, he set a screen for Darius Garland, right? And both JD and Schroeder went to the ball, and nobody really went to a rolling Jarrett Allen, right? Nobody got up on Darius Garland. Nobody got up on him. Both guys went to Jarrett Allen. Nobody went to Garland. And so he knocked down a wide open three. And coach called timeout immediately, right? Teaching moment. So they are understanding what to do defensively with each other, how to play off each other, how to guard the pick and roll, who should be out, who should be hedging, who should be back, whatever, those different things. They haven't had those reps together. They haven't had the opportunity to do that. So this is a good time while Cade's resting to be able to get the rest of your team on the same page. We know what Cade's going to do. We know what JD's going to do. We've seen that all season long. But we can't bank on anything. We can't bank on health, knock on wood. We can't bank on guys not getting in foul trouble. We can't bank on anything. You got to be prepared for everything. And you can be better prepared for everything when you're deep, once again. So this is a great opportunity to get those guys minutes and different looks on both offense and defensive end of the floor. I love what JB's doing right now. This is all experimentation. It's all experimentation, working out the kinks, right? Ironing them all out, making sure everybody's on the same page and that there's a certain synergy and chemistry on both ends of the floor. I love what he is doing right now It's fun. It's fun to watch it, man. It's fun to watch it. So, yeah, he was really, really good. Really, really good, man. All right, so let's move on and get to the rest of these guys because we have a lot more to get to. Let's start with Bees. Let's go to Malik Beasley, who started tonight. He had 19 points, 4 boards, 4 assists, 1 steal, 1 turnover, on 4 of 10 shooting, 3 of 5 from 3, 8 for 8 from the free throw line in 36 minutes. So like I mentioned, guys, Bees understands momentum. It seemed like he knocked down every single transition 3 tonight. Every time the Pistons got a turnover and the ball came to him for a 3, it seemed like he knocked down every single one. Because those are really momentum shifting plays, right? Like defense to offense already is momentum shifting. But when you can prevent them from getting a 3 and then you come down to get a 3, those are what make coaches call timeout, right? Those are 6-point swings. And Beasley seems to understand that. I think all these guys do, but he just really locks in, particularly in those situations. It seems like he just, more times than not, he knocks those down and really gets the crowd into the game, right? But he was doing a little bit of everything, guys. Like, I was watching him defensively too, but offensively, he was doing everything. He wasn't just coming off screens and getting shots up. He was attacking the glass, right? He was getting offensive boards. I think he got 1 offensive rebound. He took it away from Jared Allen and got an and 1. Went back up with it, got an and 1. Like, just getting his, not afraid to stick his nose in there with the trees. Effort. That's playing for your teammates, right? And he also showed off some playmaking ability, right? Coming off screens, off the catch, and then getting able to get penetration. You know, when Cleveland would meet him there at the 3-point line, like he was really able to find guys rolling. He would find JD rolling, right? When JD's guy would come over to help, when Mobley come over to help, drop right off to him, right? So the Pistons really, not even just offensively, like scoring, but just the way they all attack the glass. They rebounded by committee. Even Tim Hardaway Jr. was getting in there, getting his nose in there. He's always getting in, always getting in the paint, not afraid to stick his nose in there and take an elbow sometimes, or take a hit to the face or something. He's a fearless. These guys are fearless, man. And to see your vets do that is contagious. It makes your young guys really want to get after it when you see your veterans who are a little bit older willing to give their body up. He just played great, man. And 8 for 8 from the free throw line shows you he was attacking. That shows you he was doing more than just shooting, right? He was really looking to create because, once again, we were down Cade. So somebody else has to step up, and it has to be by committee. It can't just be Schroeder. It's got to be Schroeder and Sasser and Bees and THJ a little bit here and there. Like, especially when you don't have Tobias either, who also can play make at times for you. So the Pistons really have to do this as a unit, as a team, man. And they all did. They all did. But Bees was solid, man. He made so many good plays, so many big plays when his team needed it. And just giving his team confidence, man. Just giving his team confidence. He always has that swag about him. He always is making sure that his teammates can see there's no reason to be afraid. There's no reason to be scared. There's no reason to be tight right now. We good. We're good. He keeps the team loose. He keeps the team very, very loose. And he leads by example. Great game again from Bees, man. I can't believe we got him for $6 million in this season. Insane. Insane, man. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff, man. So let's move on to Tim Hardaway Jr. And guys, Tim Hardaway Jr. led the Pistons in scoring. He led the Pistons in scoring. For most of this game, he led the whole game in scoring. But so you guys know I've often said about Tim Hardaway Jr. that he is very, very consistent in the way he approaches the game, right? He plays the same way regardless of what's going on. Like he feels the team needs to get, some offensive punch, he'll try to give you more of that. But for the most part, he plays the same exact way every game, right? Great individual defense. He's always in position defensively. He always makes the right rotation defensively. He's always helping the helper. He has a very high IQ. He has a high IQ. He doesn't get credit for that, but he's a very good team player. He's very, very sound defensively. He doesn't make the glamorous steals and dunks, but he stays in front of guys. He plays great post defense. He plays bigger than his size. He helps get stops. He doesn't always get the key steal, but he gets the stop. He forces the guy he's guarding into a tough shot or a tough pass, which leads to a 24-second violation or a turnover. He makes the play before the play, right? He makes the hockey defensive assist, right? That's the thing. He makes the play before the play. He doesn't always make the play. You pay attention to how he plays the game. So I've said all season that I've been impressed with his consistency in those areas. But every now and then, like I said in the past, every now and then he'll explode and he'll go off. And that's what he did tonight. 32 points. 32 points, man. 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 turnover, on 10 for 18 shooting, 7 from 11 for 3, 5 for 5 from the free throw line in 33 minutes. Talk about efficient, man. Doing all this, mind you, while playing very tough defense. He never sacrifices the defense for his offense, even when the Pistons are shorthanded offensively. How many plays you guys see Tim Hardaway Jr. take off tonight? How many times you see him trotting up the floor or not getting back on defense? You didn't see it, did you? It's because it didn't happen. It never happens. He always plays hard. He always plays hard. DG, I'm so glad you said this. Keep the extra pass to Bees in the corner. Guys, let me tell you something. This is how you know this team is locked in. When you see shooters making better passes to other shooters, right? Shooters have the ultimate confidence in themselves that they're going to knock down every shot that they take. They have to. You have to have that confidence if you're going to be a consistently good shooter. You just do. And with that comes ego, which you kind of also have to have. It kind of goes hand in hand with your confidence when it comes to, yeah, I do this. I'm a shooter. I'm one of the best shooters in the world. And when you see shooters making the extra pass to shooters, it just shows you that these guys are all concerned about making the right play. Not the play that's going to help them. Not the play that's going to get the crowd screaming their name. But they're making the right pass to the right guy for the sake of a higher percentage of it going in. Because they want to win the game. That is team basketball, guys. When I see that, because I see Tim Hardaway Jr. and Bees doing that to each other. Bees may have a shot off a swing, but he may have one more swing because the last help defender is running at him. And it's going to be THJ wide open in the corner. And he makes the pass. And the shot goes in. And they all feel great about it. THJ feels great because he knows Bees trusts him, even though he knows Bees is a great shooter. And Bees feels great because he knew he could took that shot and made it. But he made the right play and it paid off. When you see that, that's how you know this team is locked in. That's how you know this team is not, nobody's playing selfish basketball. They're all playing basketball for each other because they all have one goal, and that is winning. That's all they care about. That is a dangerous team. It's not just about talent. It's about the right personalities, the right chemistry. You can have guys who are talented, much more talented, but when they catch that first pass off the first swing, they're not making that next pass. And when the shot doesn't go in, the guy in the corner is irritated. And that may affect him not sprinting back on defense. And now they score. It's a whole domino effect. It's a whole domino effect. That's why I'm looking at the vibes of this team, and I'm looking at how, not just them laughing on the sidelines, I'm looking at how they're playing on the court, man. They play for each other. They really just want to win. You see it. If you've played basketball, if you've watched basketball long enough, you know a selfish team. You know when you see agendas. You know when guys don't care. And then you know when they do. And that's a perfect example of a guy just caring about making the right play, whether it goes in or not. So, great point. I'm glad you said that, DG, because that is an amazing point. The pass to the extra guy. When the shooter makes a pass to another shooter, it tells you a lot. Tells you a whole lot. Tim Hardaway Jr. balled out, man. 10 for 18 from the field, 7 for 11 from 3-point, 5 for 5 from the free throw line. He could not have played any better. He could not have played any better. He's been incredible, man. He's been very, very good for this basketball team as far as just showing them how to play the right way. Having vets to play the right way, selfless basketball. He's been invaluable for this team, man. All of our vets have. And tonight, it was THJ's turn. It was his turn. It was his turn. And he showed up and showed out. This team is so unpredictable. We have a lot of guys who are capable, but it's not always necessary for them to do it. When you have guys who are talented and who are not showing all of their ability every night because they don't have to, when games get tight and you need more from those guys, they're like, okay, cool. I'm not playing above my head. I've always been able to do this. Now I'm getting an opportunity because my teammate needs me to. Let me go step up and get some more buckets. That's Tim Hardaway Jr. So great game from him, man. Absolutely great game. I love this team. I love this team. Okay, guys, let's move on to Asar Thompson. Asar Tasmanian Thompson, right? 18 points, 10 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals, 4 blocks, 2 turnovers, 8 for 18 shooting, 0-2 from 3, 2-2 from the free throw line in 32 minutes. Asar, the last 2 games, has looked really, really good. He's looked really, really good. And I think, once again, I mentioned last show how I felt that everybody this season, as the starters, and for the most part, but the starters, every starter this season has had their turn as far as having a slump, as far as struggling, as far as figuring out their role consistently for this team. In order to figure that out, you need to experiment. You need to give guys opportunities in games to see what they can and cannot do. You can't just try it in practice. You have a brand new team with guys who have not really played much together. Systematic basketball, you got to experiment. You got to experiment. We saw JD go through it. We saw what he was able to do consistently and what he was not. We saw Tobias, same thing, right? Cade, same thing. Jaden, we were just beginning to see it, and then he went down, right? So we're seeing all of these guys go through their own stint of figuring out who they are. And once they did, now you're seeing JD playing the same way. You're seeing Tobias play the same way. THJ play the same way. Cade play, like they figured it out now, right? And I felt for a lot of the season, I was waiting on it to be Asar's turn. And we're seeing it now. It's kind of his turn now. It's figuring out what he is every night. He's got all these skills, but what can he do consistently, right? I said that last show. You guys saw it. So I think now it's a situation as to where they're figuring out what he can consistently do. Let's put him in the best spots. Let's have him be successful in those areas. And you're seeing how he really can be effective on the court. Tonight, I was surprised. He was really putting his body, putting his shoulder in the Evan Mobley. If you guys saw that early in this game, he wasn't trying to go over the top. But because Mobley isn't that strong and that big and that powerful, Asar was able to kind of create space and kind of go through him, lift him off his feet, right? And really create space and get some shots. And I was impressed with that. I was not expecting that because Asar is not a tank, right? He's a lot stronger than he looks, but he's not just, built like Isaiah Stewart to be able to do that, who, by the way, did body Mobley. We'll get to that later. But Asar was good, man. He was very, very good tonight. He had a crazy reverse lob dunk. Did y'all see that? When he takes off 2 feet, guys, he stays in the air forever in a week. He just hangs in the air. He looks like he's literally bouncing off of a trampoline. He just stays up there. It's really crazy to see, man. His athleticism is through the roof. It's through the roof, man. So, and he catches it off the reverse with ease and just throws it down. Ho-hum, no big deal. But he made a lot of big plays tonight, right? He had a nice block on Darius Garland, playing great individual defense on him, who's very, very quick and very crafty and very shifty. Garland is tough. And he made some big shots in this game. But Asar was good. Asar was solid, man, guarding him. He's still loose with the basketball, right? It's still a few times where he got a little goosey trying to go behind his back and almost lost the ball. But he is a lot more under control, and he's not nearly as frenetic as he was before, and he's just trying to get the ball out of his hands because he's afraid somebody's going to steal it. I haven't seen that the last 2 games. He's very much been more under control and kind of just pacing himself, right? We saw with Jaden last year. Jaden, a lot of times he would move too quickly, going north and south, and then as the season progressed, he started understanding when to pick his spots, when to pace himself. We're seeing some of that to an extent with Asar. It's early, but I'm seeing just from the last 3 games how he's slowly, gradually just taking his time because he's still faster than everybody else when he does slow down. He's that fast. So it's good to see that. And then also, too, he displayed his vision, right? I like how Asar, we talk about it all the time. I've said it all the time. His ability to grab the rebound and go, right? A lot of guys in this league cannot rebound well enough consistently to grab the board. And guys who are good rebounders, they can't grab it and go. They got to grab it and find an outlet, right? And I've said it all season. He's great at grabbing and go because he's a great rebounder for his size. and he has a good enough handle to be able to push, right? A good enough handle right now to be able to push. And he keeps his head up. When he grabs a board, he is immediately looking down the court. I love to see that. That is another component you need to have of your rebounders, of your bigs, of your whoever, your wings, whoever's crashing the board and grabbing the board. One component to being able to get out in transition is whoever grabs the board, you got to have your head up, because you never know who may be leaking out. When they can tell you have the board secure before they even hit your hands, they're leaking out because they're seeing you're going to get the board. You got to have your head up. You got to find that guy. And Asar is great at that. He always keeps his head up. And tonight he was rewarded, and so were the recipients. Guys like THJ, who leaked out once he saw the board was secure. JD leaked out, sprinting down the court like a guard. When he saw Asar had the rebound, getting down the court, almost had a throw down dunk, got fouled, knocked down the free throws, right? And the biggest thing for me offensively for Asar is that he was 0 for 2 from 3. Both of them were air balls. I don't care. I said it last game. If you're open, you have to take the shot. We've seen too often in the regular season where he would catch the ball wide open, right? And his defender would just be sitting under the rim, and he wouldn't take the shot. He would always try to barrel his way to the hoop. That's predictable basketball. And it makes it harder for guys like JD to get the rebound because he has to deal with not only his man, but the guy who's laying off of Asar because he's not guarding him, right? That's what happens when you develop a reputation for not shooting the basketball. If you at least shoot the basketball, you have to make the defense account for you. And tonight, he took both of them. Neither went in. I don't care. Get into the habit now of just taking it when it's there. Get the muscle memory of taking it when it's there. Get into a rhythm of taking it when it's there within the flow of the offense, right? Build your confidence of just taking it when it's there. Let your teammates get used to you taking it when it's there. The more you consistently do it, it'll build your confidence. And as you're working with Fred Vinson, right, it's going to eventually get better. But you got to start shooting them now. You can't just take them in practice. It don't mean nothing in practice, right, as far as actually impacting games. It impacts games because you're getting them up. So you got to get them up. So I was happy to see, even though he missed both of them, he took them. He didn't turn them down. He's setting that tone now for teams to know, once I figure this shot out, I'm going to keep shooting them the same way I'm shooting them right now, and they're going to fall, and you're going to have to do something about it. You're going to have to guard me. And when his guy has to guard him, it opens up the rest of the offense for everybody else, right? So that's why it's important to see him taking those shots now. I don't care if they go in or not. Just get used to taking them. Get used to taking those shots, right? That's very, very important. So, yeah, man, great game from Asar, man. Asar was great. He was great. He made a lot of great plays. I love the 10 rebounds. Like, it's like he understood that, guys were out tonight. He was going to need to do more, and he did more. I mean, 2 assists, 2 steals, 4 blocks. Swiss Army knife. And he played, 32 minutes. So it's good to see him back in the 30s again, right? It seems like JB may be kind of getting guys ready for the playoffs. Because in the playoffs, the rotation may shorten, right? It may not because we have such a deep team. But he may decide he wants to only go 9 guys in the playoffs instead of 10, 11. So that's something to keep an eye on. He may be getting guys ready for, at the same time, trying to keep them fresh, but just giving them a taste of what it may feel like in the playoffs, playing these guys more minutes. So we'll see. It could be just the fact that Cade and Tobias were out, and maybe that was why. But either way, it's good to see him getting those minutes, right? For the longest, we saw all last week and the week before, 20 minutes, 21 minutes, 18 minutes. It's like, what's going on with Asar? So it's good to see him back in the 30s to know that he's okay, like physically, and to see he's not in a doghouse or anything like that. He's just continuing to grow and get better. So in a good situation. So good for him. Good for him, man. Mike Landry says, Asar is this team's Tayshaun. I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. I definitely like that a lot. Tayshaun Prince was a guy who did a little bit of everything. He was a point forward who played small forward. I will say this, though. Tayshaun coming into the league was a much better shooter than Asar. For guys who don't know, look up Tayshaun Prince Kentucky tape. After this video, after the show, Google Tayshaun Prince knocks down 5 straight threes in the playoffs. Gifar, you showing me you are not up on your Tayshaun Prince. You better do your Googles. Because anybody who remembers will tell you Tayshaun Prince was a much better shooter than Asar Thompson. How many times you see Asar Thompson knock down 5 straight threes in college, or not at college, but when he played before he got here? We didn't see it. We didn't see it. Look up. Yes, Mike Landry, look it up. Look it up. Tayshaun Prince was a bucket. He was a bucket. Chuck Brewer says not even close. Yeah, it's not even close, guys. Tayshaun Prince is a much better shooter. So the point I'm making is that I do see a lot of Asar, or Tayshaun and Asar. I see a lot of similarities there. I think Tayshaun, in a sense, was also the backbone of that defense. You could say it's Ben Wallace. He was the heart and soul. Like, in as far as interior, yeah, absolutely. He was a backbone. But as far as just being able to play on the perimeter, guard guards, and also mix it up in the paint, that's what Tayshaun does. That's what he did. And that's what Asar is doing now. And Chuck Brewer, absolutely. Chuck Brewer, Prince sacrificed his offensive game. Absolutely. Absolutely. Remember how I just said, guys, how you got a team full of guys who can do a lot more than what they're showing you, but they're sacrificing it because if they just do enough, if they star in their role, if they all are just one of 5 puzzle pieces as a starting unit, just give what the team needs. When you have guys who need you to step up, it's still right in your wheelhouse because you have the ability. You just don't have to do it right now. We don't need you to. We play team ball. So yeah, absolutely, guys. Go check out Tayshaun Prince's tape, though. You'll thank me later. But Asar was great. Asar was great, man. Great game. All right, let's get to our last starter, and then we'll get to the bench. Jalen Duren, man. 16 points, 13 boards, 1 steal, 1 block, 4 fouls, 6 for 9 shooting overall, 4 6 from the free throw line, in 26 minutes. Guys, that doesn't even begin to tell the impact that Jalen Duren had on this game. That doesn't even begin. Now the numbers are nice, right? Another double-double. By the way, he's second in blocks, or not blocks, but dunks in the season behind Giannis. And it's not close between him and third. But JD, man, I could not be any happier with what we are getting right now from Jalen Duren. Jalen Duren's energy and effort, guys, is on another level. It is on another level. I've said it before, but he is committed to the player we need him to be. He is fully bought in to the guy we need him to be, and he's getting better by the game. He's getting better by the game now. He's getting better because he understands his role. He fully understands who he needs to be for this team, and now he can attack that with much more intention every single night. Right? There is no, should I be here? Should I be there? Should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? That can make you passive. When you don't know who you're supposed to be, when it hasn't been clear to you who you're supposed to be, when you haven't had enough reps to be the guy that the team needs you to be, it's hard to go full tilt because you don't know what to do. Last season, Jalen Duren didn't have a specific role for this team. We knew he had talent, but we didn't see him or anybody else really doing the same things game to game, playing the same way game to game. We didn't see that consistency at all last year. With everybody on this team, including JD, we're seeing them play the same way every game. The same way we always say we see Isaiah Stewart playing the same way every game because he knows his role. JD is playing the same way now every game because his role has been defined. It's been defined. And now he really is taking advantage and pouring all his energy into being that guy. I mean, you know, I've always rooted for JD. Always. William Black says JD definitely heard you on the podcast earlier in the season. Yeah, man, like I knew how good he could be, Will. I knew how good he could be. I saw it in game 1 of Summer League when he was a rookie with Jaden Ivey. I saw it then. And he just jumped off the page to me. I saw the ability. I didn't see him in college. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna cap. I heard about him and Chet going at it. I didn't watch it. I told y'all I don't like scouting drafts because it means our team is not good unless we just got a great pick from another trade, like we did with the Darko pick, something like that. But normally when you're scouting drafts, you're not a good team. And I couldn't accept not being a good team for this long. And I was really struggling with it. So I didn't really watch him in college. But I watched him in the summer league, and I knew then this guy is talented. Just all this raw ability, but it wasn't channeled. It wasn't really concentrated on any specific things. And that's why we saw him be so inconsistent. But now we have a coach who knows how to use him properly. We have a coach who has helped produce Evan Mobley and Jared Allen into being who they are right now. All-stars. We have a coach that has produced an all-star starting or all-star backcourt who previously, before he got there, wasn't in Coach Bickerstaff. Jalen Duren is in great hands. He's in good hands with this coaching staff, for sure. And now we're starting to see that he has the understanding of who he's supposed to be. Now he can go out and be that guy and do it with intention and go all out. You know why? Because it's resulting in wins. The Pistons are getting dubs from playing the way Coach wants them to play. If they were 14-68 or headed to that record this season, they wouldn't buy in to what Coach is saying, regardless of how good it sounded. You know why? Because it wouldn't have been resulting in wins. When you are told or asked to play a certain way, like it or not, if you truly want to win, if that's your true intention, if you truly want to win as a player, and you see that it's working, even if it's not specifically how you would like to play, because you can bring more to the team, but you're sacrificing that for wins. If you're doing those things and you're getting wins at this level after what you went through last year, you have no choice but to keep doing it. Because if you don't, that's going to show you're more worried about your own stats than you are getting wins. So it holds guys accountable. And he has been held accountable. He said himself earlier this season that he was playing soft. He said he was playing soft early in the season. That means mentally, right? That doesn't mean just physically that doesn't mean not always boxing out, or that doesn't mean, grabbing off. Like, that's a mentality he was talking about. He understands he wasn't giving them everything. He knows that. He wasn't giving everything. I think a lot of guys kind of got used to what happened last year and like, man, I'm not going all out for this. I'm not about to risk hurt myself for this. That had to be rubbed away. That had to be scrubbed away. And that's kind of what he was talking about when he said that. It's a mindset. And now all these guys have bought in to winning. They're showing they all want to win because they're all sacrificing their games, all of them, for the betterment of the team, and they're winning. Mega Hustle says the Sidney Lowe factor for Duren. Yes, Sidney Lowe is a long-time coach, man. He coached here before. I think he was here with Flip Saunders in 2006 when we had the record-setting 64-win season, 64-18, right? That was when Sidney Lowe was here the first time, I believe. He's been there, I think, 2 or 3 times. Very, very good coach. I got a chance to chop it up with him. Me and King chopped it up with him at the practice earlier this season, open practice earlier this season. We got a chance to chop it up with him. Good guy. Very smart dude, man. Smart dude. He's learned. He's forgot more basketball than I ever know. Like that dude is. He's very, very smart. Very, very insightful basketball mind. You rest in peace, Flip Saunders, man, for sure. Yeah, JB better get that belt. They got this game for him, I think, too. They wanted to get this game for him. Everybody's talked about how Cleveland has been this and that and all this different talk, and and for sure. But let's be frank, y'all. Nobody expected Cleveland to suck this year, right? Like, we all knew they brought the same team back. They still have their 4 all-star caliber players. They got DeAndre Hunter back half of the season, right? Nobody expected them to really fall off. It was more so, they switched coaches. That's odd. Okay, well, Kenny Atkinson is a good coach. Okay, maybe it's something on the other side behind closed doors we don't know that happened. Maybe Donovan Mitchell got into it with coach and he didn't like it and he forced coach out. Who knows, right? But that was the thought process. It was never, they about to fall now. He still got Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Jared Allen, and Evan Mobley. They good. They good. Now, they are playing better than I think most played from a record standpoint. Sure. So he's made a great team even better. Great. But nobody saw this coming with the Pistons. Everybody in this chat, nobody in this chat, including the person who was talking right now, saw this coming. I did not see this coming at all. The turnaround to win 3 times as many games as you did last season, what the Pistons did tonight, tripled their win total from 14 to 42, with games remaining, without your star player, without 3 starters against that team. I don't see how you don't give it to him. I don't understand how you do not give him that at all. At all. ESPN had the Pistons at maybe 25 wins. I had him at 35. King had him at 40. They've eclipsed all of it. All of it with games left. Insanity. So, yeah, I wanted to shout out Coach, man, because the things that he has done in a short period of time have been nothing short of incredible. Incredible. And I think tonight may have made it a lot harder not to give him that Coach of the Year trophy, especially doing what he did tonight against this team in this fashion. Very, very impressive. So I have to give him credit, a ton of credit. But back to JD, man. I want to talk about something with JD. Because like I said, he was going after every loose ball. He was sprinting down the court as much as he could. He was contesting every shot possible. And guys, JD's defensive awareness has been night and day. Night and day. His defensive awareness has vastly improved, guys. Vastly improved. It was extremely impressive watching him tonight. There's one play I want to talk about with JD. Right? Just one play. So, Cavs got the ball. They run pick and roll with Darius Garland and Evan Mobley. Right? JD's guarding Mobley and Schroeder's guarding Garland. This is after the first play. Right? After the first, when they left him open. Right? Obviously, Cleveland's going to run it again and see if it works again. But they ran it again. And JD identified the screen coming early. And it looked like the defensive scheme was to trap Garland. So JD got up on Garland to keep him from getting to the hoop. He got in front of him. And you saw Schroeder kind of crowd him, or try to crowd him. And as that's happening, before the trap comes all the way over, you see Garland drop it off to Mobley, close to the free throw line. Mobley catches it, right? At the free throw line. And he's met by Tim Hardaway Jr., who saw that Garland made the pass out of the double team, which means the Cavs have an advantage now. And nobody's really guarding Mobley. So Tim Hardaway Jr. sees that, steps up and meets Mobley right there at the free throw line, right? And when Mobley sees him, Mobley then drops it off to a cutting Jarrett Allen because Jarrett Allen saw the help from THJ coming. So Allen cut to the hoop. And Allen was open for a moment when Mobley passed it to him. But here's the thing. JD saw the whole play unfolding. He saw the whole thing unfolding. He saw the whole play develop, right? So he knows that the Cavs are just going to run this too big action once Mobley catches the ball from Garland at the free throw line. He knows, okay, he understands the situation. JD does. So instead of JD trying to rotate back to Mobley, who was his original man, his original guy, he sprints right past Mobley and goes to Jarrett Allen because he knows Mobley's making that pass to Allen. JD knows, okay, for the moment, THJ has Mobley stopped. So let me run past him, even though that's my guy. Let me run past him and play help defense. He runs right by Mobley, goes over to Jarrett Jack, who we knew Mobley's going to pass it to, goes up and blocks a shot. Guys, that may seem like a little thing, but watching that play told me a lot about Jalen Duren's awareness, his IQ defensively, vastly improved over the season, guys. It's scary how, like I have a video that I dropped that said that Jalen Duren is the hidden gem of the NBA. I made a video about 2 months ago when he was still slumping about that, right? And here we are. He's becoming one of the best bigs in the league consistently now because he understands who he is supposed to be. You can't shortcut that. That's why I always said these guys need time. You need time. You have to give these guys time and reps to play together. We still have not seen our original starting five, our projected starting five of Cade, Jaden, Asar, Tobias, JD. Still have not seen one game with that. So you see the patience of letting these guys individually develop and how from October to now it's helped us. We got to have that same patience when it comes to all of our guys playing together now. They need the same reps. They need the same time. Individually, they got it. Let's come together like a transformer and make this thing work as a unit, right? So once again, JD was incredible. It was another play that he made. I forgot the details of it. I had this one written down so I didn't forget. But it was another play that JD made that kept the Cavs from scoring late. I forgot, maybe it was Evan Mobley or Jared Allen. But they played great helps. They played great defense. JD is flying all over the place. They don't secure the rebound. And the Cavs get it back, and the defense is kind of helter-skelter, right? And so JD is just trying to, he's under the rim, trying to get the board. It bounces long. They get the rebound. JD shoots out to a shooter, right? He shoots out to a shooter. The shot goes up, misses again, and Arsaris in the paint trying to guard Mobley, who has a height advantage. JD shoots back to the hoop after contesting the shot and blocks that shot. Like, his energy, guys, he was not doing this early this season. He was not doing this. He was not doing this early this year. So to see him doing this now is very, very impressive, man. I'm so proud of what I've seen from an effort and energy standpoint and an IQ standpoint with Jalen Duren. The stat sheet, guys, does not show his impact in this game at all. At all. At all. So man, this team, guys, from top to bottom is playing great. JD was great. JD was great, man. Great game. Great game. All right, let's get to the bench, guys, and we'll get to the standings and schedule and all that, and then we'll call it a night, all right? But, man, the starting unit was very, very impressive, guys. They really played well. They really played well. And one more thing on JD. One more thing, and then we'll call it on him. JD, to me, guys, is like a combination he's like a combination of Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. Like, as far as, like, physically, like, he's just as athletic as Mobley, and he's, like, just as strong, if not stronger, than Jared Allen. Like, neither of those guys can really keep him out of the paint. Like, Allen's not quick enough. JD is quick enough, or too quick for him, and he's strong. And Mobley just isn't strong enough. We saw Mobley getting bodied by Asar. So neither of those guys can really handle him one-on-one, right? And he was really getting whatever he wanted whenever he would go, take it hard to the rim. But the thing about that, guys, is that even with that, I still think the Pistons need to get bigger up front, right? Whether you like Asar playing the forward because he can play big, okay. I still don't want that to be the long-term answer, I don't think. Maybe, I don't know. I could be wrong on that. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Asar playing the forward full time. And Tobias, he tries on defense, right? He plays very hard on defense, but you can't teach 6'10". You can't teach 6'11". He's only 6'8". You can't teach height, right? So I don't like the idea long-term of JD going to war by himself, so to speak, not literally, but in a sense of just the battle of the boards. I don't like the idea of him having to go against Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, and Brook Lopez and Giannis, or Mitchell Robinson and Cat, or Luke Cornett to go with Horford and Kristaps Porzingis. Like, I don't want him to be the only guy who can consistently board and battle in the paint. The only way you can help that is to start Isaiah Stewart next to him, but then that messes with your whole second unit. You know what I mean? And now you got to get Paul Reed used to playing with Schroeder. You got to get Paul Reed off the pick and roll with Schroeder. Like, it's a domino effect of that. So I think at some point, the Pistons are still going to have to upgrade that. They're going to have to. I still think they're going to be at disadvantage in that painted area in the front court. So we'll see how that plays out. And that's taking nothing away from Tobias, because he has really played big. He's really played hard. And just like the other vets, he has really committed and embraced the role that this team is asking him to play. Nothing against him. He's playing the best basketball I've ever seen him play as a Detroit Piston, Tobias Harris. But even with that, it's not even about that. It's just we need size. We talked about it last year when we had James Wiseman and all these other guys. Like, they weren't the bigs we needed, right? We need a certain type of guy to play a certain type of role. Physicality, dominating the paint, right? Being a rim protector, being an enforcer. Those are the guys we needed that we need now. And we only have one of those guys in the starting lineup, right? And I think we need to get one more, like a Naz Reid, perhaps, long-term, not to get too far, of course. But that's why I'm saying that. When you look at who we're going to be playing going forward in the playoffs against these contenders, you'll see all of them, every team above us plays big in the standings. Every one. So we need to have it. So we'll see how it plays out long-term. But as of right now, not really a big deal. Just throwing it out there for you guys to keep in mind for later. But I agree with you, Devon. Of course, this is phase one. So I'm not saying tomorrow go make a trade, anything like that. It's just, just something I'm always looking ahead to, right? Okay. Now let's get to lay bench. And let's start with Simone Fontecchio. All right, let's start with him and see how he did. So Fontecchio tonight, guys, had 3 points, 1 rebound, 2 steals, 4 fouls, 1 of 3 shooting, 1 of 3 from 3 in 14 minutes. So surprisingly, I'm not bothered at all by Fontecchio. He was okay. You know, it didn't the game didn't call for him to do much scoring, you know, but it's not about the stat sheet for me with Fontecchio. It's about what are you doing while you're in the game. You know, early in the season, we've seen that. I've talked about it. He was a guy, guys. He was another guy who had to understand what his role was going to be, right? This was an evaluation season for everybody, including him. It wasn't just the starters. It was the bench guys as well. And early in the season, it seemed like he thought he was going to be a playmaker for this team, or at least the coaching staff wanted to see if he could be, right? I saw early on that he's not. I saw, at least this season, and even last season, he wasn't much of a playmaker. He just seemed like he was a bit more spry, a bit more impactful, a bit more just, I don't know. It just seemed different last year. But this year, I was thinking, okay, maybe he's just taking his time getting back to the guy he was last year, you know, but I never really saw that. And I still, to be honest, don't see that. But I think he went through a period of time where he had to really adjust to the new role that he has now. He's not going to be a playmaker. He's not going to make his money, and his bread and butter is not going to be as a playmaker. He's not Manu Ginobili. That's not his game, right? He doesn't have the first step quickness to be able to get by his guys consistently, to be able to create mismatches or double teams and make passes out of them. That's why so often it seemed like you thought he was, but he's in the NBA, you're not. In the NBA, everybody's athletic. Everybody's got a quick first step. Everybody's fast. And then you have upper echelon guys like Asar, who's just out of this world, right? And Amin, who out of this world, and Jaden out of this world. But everybody in the NBA has a level of athleticism. And I think that's why you would see so often Fontecchio go to the basket, trying to create, and his guy is right with him. Therefore, no double team. Therefore, when you look to pass, there's nowhere to pass it to because everybody stayed home. Nobody had to double because you didn't get by your guy and make anybody else double, right? So that's why so often we would see him get caught in the air, trying to go to hoop, get caught in the air, turnover, because nobody helped off. Nobody's open. Your guy is in front of you. So it's like once he understood that his game is going to be predicated more so on doing the little things like hustling, diving on the floor, playing great individual and help side defense, crashing the glass on both ends, giving up your body for charges, the little things, right? Move without the basketball, being a catch and shoot guy primarily offensively and not a guy trying to play make for others. Once he understood what his role was, he began playing better. His turnovers came down. His shot selection looked better. So it's happening for everybody. It's happening for everybody. So I don't care that he didn't score 10 points. I don't care that he didn't shoot 3 out of 3 from the three-point line. What I care about is how are you playing the game? And tonight he was impactful, doing the little things. Certain little things stand out more than other little things. His don't really stand out a lot unless you're really paying attention. So Tim Hardaway's little things may stand out a little bit more. Who cares? They're all necessary to winning games. It's all needed. So once he bought into that, he began playing better. I'm okay if he plays this way the rest of the year. I'm cool with that. I want to see more. Like, I want to see him knock down more shots. Because there's so many shots tonight. Had he made, not so many, but there's a couple. Had he made, it would have blew the roof off of LCA. Like, everybody made the right play. Guys are setting the right screens. Guys are moving around. The ball comes right to him on penetration. Crowd is like, because you know when the crowd, like, before the shot goes in, there's like a, hey, right? When you hear that, like, I kept hearing that, tonight it was, I want to see him knock down those shots. That's the only thing. Like, he's got to knock down those shots. Everything else, I love the way he's playing. I really do. It's not the points. It's not the assists, not the rebounds. It's not even the percentage of the shot selection. It's just, how are you playing? Are you taking the right shot? Are you making the right pass? Are you playing within the scope of who we need you to be and not hurting the team with turnovers? That's the thing. And he's doing it. So for that, okay, fine. You can stick around. I don't mind it. But you got to knock down more shots, bro. Got to knock down more shots. You do that. If he does that, nobody else will complain about him. If he continues to do the things on defense we need him to do, and offensively he's not trying to do too much, and he's knocking down shots, nobody's going to complain. Nobody is going to complain. So we'll see how it plays out. But he was solid. I'm not mad at how he played tonight. All right, let's move on to Marcus Assassin, Disaster, Splasher, Thrasher, Sasser, Pistons in 6. Anyway, Sasser struggled tonight, guys, right? He really did not, he couldn't get a shot going tonight. I was watching him, and a lot of the shots looked good. They just really didn't fall. And that was what I was watching for. And that happens sometimes. The last 2 games, he's been on fire, right? He couldn't miss, it seems like. He was just getting whatever he wanted. Tonight, not so much. He had 4 points, 4 assists, 1 steal, 2 turnovers, on 1 for 9 shooting, 1 of 5 from 3, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, 19 minutes, right? So 1 of 9, he couldn't throw it in the ocean. It happens. 1 of 5 from 3, he couldn't throw it in the ocean. It happens. It's not always going to be your night. But he did do things to get other guys involved. He was able to penetrate, get into the paint, right, and create better shots for his teammates. He's done a really good job of that, guys. He's really good at, because he's not just doing that step. He's not just playing one-on-one basketball anymore, right? He is trying to get other guys involved now. And he's in the very early stages of learning how to be a playmaker and floor general at the NBA level. That's why this time is so important for him to get these minutes against good teams. But we're seeing him now look to get other guys involved. He's playing nice with his friends now. You know what I mean? Not that he ever wasn't trying to, but it was just a lot of ISO with him. And tonight, we saw him trying to get into the paint. And what stands out to me with him offensively is the driving lanes that he creates. Because he's got that basketball on a string. He's got it on a string, man. He does not turn the ball over very often. You don't see it too often with him where he has a lot of turnovers, and he doesn't usually do that. He had 2 tonight, so I'm not really mad. He had 4 assists. That's a solid ratio. But the driving lanes that he creates help other guys like Ron Holland get going, right? Like, he's not just looking for his own shot, but what he's doing is when he's catching the ball at the top of the key, you'll see him initiate a dribble drive to draw in the help, right? Because he'll get a first step. He's got a quick first step, not the tallest, but he's still very, very quick. So he can still get by you. He can still stick by you. He's able to get by you. And then when he gets in the paint, when the help comes, he's initially dropping it off, immediately dropping it to Ron and letting Ron go, right? So catch, to the hoop, pass. And when Ron catches, he's going immediately. Just that little window, just that little lane he created, just that little help side defense that needed to come over initially is what enables Ron to be able to catch and go downhill. So just creating the driving lane. It seems like Sasser has no intention to even get the shot. He already knows what he wants to do when he catches the ball. If he's got Ron on the perimeter, he's looking immediately to get Ron involved. He's catching, going to the hoop. As soon as help comes, he's going to Ron. Ron catches, he's darting to the hoop, getting downhill. I love it. I love it. And to be honest, guys, that's the same thing that Cade Cunningham does for Tobias Harris. He does the same thing. When Cade catches, makes a move to the hoop, he initially creates a driving lane. The help comes over. Like, once Cade gets his guy on his hip, help comes over. He's initially pushing to Tobias. Tobias catching, driving to the hoop, either getting into the paint for an easy bucket or going in for a nice labor dunk. It's the same thing. The uniformity. Once again, there's a uniformity. We see it. All of these guys are playing the same way. They're all doing the same thing. That's like 5 or 6 examples we've mentioned with whether the starters did it or the bench guys did it. They're doing the same thing. You just never know where it's coming from. You never know where the ball's going to end up. That's what makes him very, very unpredictable. So Sasser was good. He wasn't great. He didn't shoot well, but he still found a way to do what? Be impactful. And that's all we talk about. That is a sign of a young and growing player. When it's not going for you, you can get somebody else going for the team's sake. So he was good. Aside from the shooting, he was still good. All right, let's get to 2 more guys, and then we'll go to the standings. All right, let's go to Ron Holland, man. Ron Holland, guys. 10 points tonight, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 3 turnovers on 4 or 5 shooting, 2 or 3 from 3 in 19 minutes. Ron, once again, came into the game and made an impact right away, like he always does. His shot making is improving too, guys. We talked about how Asar needs to keep shooting that thing from three. Ron continues to take it when it's there, and he continues to knock it down. Ron tonight was 2 or 3 from three. His confidence is really shooting up. He never has had any problem with taking the three when it was there. Like with Asar, we need him to take him, and he is now. Ron, from the top of the year, has never lacked any confidence with shooting the ball. It just wasn't going in. It was so many times I was standing up to King where we would check the stat line for Ron, and from 3-point, he's like 0 for 5. Because like 0 for 5, 0 for 3, 1 for 4, 1 for 5. And I was at the point like, man, maybe you should pull back a little bit, Ron. Don't get too trigger happy. But that was the thing with him. It was never he was afraid to take it. It was like, maybe pull back because it's not going in, you're taking too many. It was the opposite. So his confidence has never been a problem. It's just now that his three ball is improving. And now that 0 for 3, 0 for 4 is now 2 for 3, 2 for 4. That's the difference. So he's taking the shot when it's there. He's taking it when it's there, in the flow of the offense, in rhythm, and he's knocking them down. That angle three might be his spot, guys. I've noticed him taking that shot a lot, and he's knocking it down a lot. The corner three too, but watch that angle three. He seems to like that shot. But yeah, man, I really love what I'm seeing from Ron. He was very, very impactful again. He got downhill, of course, off of those dribble drives from Sasser we talked about, right? He had a nice breakaway dunk off a turnover that was created. He's, man. And like I mentioned too, another thing too, guys, on Ron and Asar. This is yet another benefit of letting K take his time to return, right? With his calf. Another benefit of roster shakeup. Another benefit of roster tweaking and letting guys who don't normally play together, right? Seeing matchups you wouldn't normally see. And one of those matchups, or one of those, that we don't usually see, those lineups that we don't usually see, is Asar and Ron. We don't see Asar and Ron play extensively a lot, right? Because neither of them are really good shooters right now. And those are your two wing guys. But when you're down your best player and your other best player and your only consistently offensive four, you got to get creative. You have to shuffle around. You got to get creative. And so tonight defensively, I absolutely loved. And I mentioned, guys, I hate to keep saying this, but I said this months ago. Please let those two develop a jump shot, 35%. Just give me that for both of them. And let them wreak havoc on the league. They had a sequence of back-to-back dunks in the first half, both created off turnovers. Imagine you have the ability to play both of those two on guys like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown together 2 or 3 years from now. Is there anybody else you really want while still having? That's not even considering Jaden has made life historically hard, historically tough on Jaylen Brown because he's strong enough, tall enough, quick enough, and long enough to stay with him on every play. Imagine those guys playing defense together. Imagine those guys getting out on the break, creating turnovers and defense to offense together. That's what makes this team very, very dangerous, is their versatility. You can throw different lineups at guys that you haven't really shown all season. I cannot wait to watch these guys grow. But yeah, those two together at some point in certain spots could be very, very beneficial for this team going forward. If they can develop that jump shot, they are going to be a nightmare for teams to have to play against offensively. So yeah, man, I love it. I love the versatility. All right, let's get to Isaiah Stewart. And that'll be it for the box. Guys, tonight still have 14 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 turnovers, 5 for 6 from the field, 4 or 5 from the free throw line, in 21 minutes. Man, Isaiah Stewart is the Energizer Beast. He's the Energizer Beast. He just does not stop. His motor always runs hot, and he just wears you down. When you have a guy who is that physical all the time, every play, it's like taking body shots in a boxing fight. just chipping away at the tree, just chipping away at you. That wears on you. That wears on you. He's so physical all the time. When has anybody in this chat ever complained about Isaiah Stewart's effort? I will wait. I'll be sitting here all night because nobody's ever seen it. So when you're that high motor player and when you're that physical all the time, it takes the wind out of guys. It takes your legs out. It takes your legs out, man. So and that's just talk about energy and effort, guys. That's just energy and effort. I know you guys saw him put Evan Mobley on skates. He sent him to Skateland, skating station, wherever you want to go, wherever you want to call it, wherever you guys grew up skating. That's where he sent him. It looked like Evan Mobley was listening to his favorite song. Mobley had his jam on the way he was skating when Isaiah Stewart had him all confused. Isaiah Stewart went behind his back, crossed him up, finished with the left hand. If you guys have not seen that play, it's already on YouTube. I saw it. Go find it. Go watch it. Mike said Roller Dome. Where did you guys go skate when you were coming up? If you live in Detroit or Michigan, where did you guys go skating at? I went to Skate Land and Skating Station personally. Yes, roll bounce. For anybody who's seen roll bounce with Bow Wow, yes, that was what it was. Skate Land, okay, Mega Hustle, I feel you on that, bro. Yes, Evan Mobley was there too tonight. He was there, and his jam was playing the way he was moving around. Man, guys, this is the second straight game Isaiah Stewart's gone behind his back. I saw this last game. It didn't end like this, with this dramatically, with a highlight like this, but he has done this before. Northland, Quinn, I feel you. Shout out to Northland. He's done this before, guys. And like I said, at the top of the year, you're going to get the energy and effort from him every single play. But Isaiah Stewart is such a student of the game that you're going to see him incrementally get better offensively too. Who remembers that? I said this maybe even late last year. You're going to see him add a little bit more to his game offensively. Look at his left hand. Look at his left hand finishes. His left hand and right hand look identical, right? He shoots over that left shoulder and right shoulder comfortably. Doesn't matter. He is a great finisher around the rim. He has a great float game. He is continuing to add things to his game. Because here's the thing. He's shown that handle before. Who remembers his rookie season when he crossed up Joel Embiid at the top of the key and went in for a double pump dunk? Who remembers that? You guys remember that? And it's like, whoa, where'd that come from? I didn't see that at Washington when he went to Washington. Who remembers that? Does anybody remember that play? But he just pulled it out. He pulled it out that one play and put it right back in his belt. And we never saw it again. We never saw it again. Right? We have not seen that. He crossed him up because it caught Embiid off guard. When Stu dunked, Embiid turned to look at him like, okay, I got you. Okay, I got you. But yeah, so even then we saw it, guys. We saw it then. But once again, he knows what he can do consistently every night. That's not what he can be called on to do every night consistently. Isaiah Stewart is very self-aware. He's very self-aware. He knows who he is. He knows I'm not going to be doing that consistently, so why am I even really doing this in practice? Well, I know what I can do, but the team needs me to shrink my game the same way the team needs everybody else in this room to shrink their game too. So let me do what I know I can do consistently without hurting the basketball team. Rebounding, protecting the rim, setting great screens, knocking down the occasional three when it's there. He is a team player. He's been sacrificing. You think he just did this on the fly? Think about it. Stu is not a flashy player. He's not a hot dog player anyway. It's almost like he wanted to remind everybody, don't sleep. I can still do this too. I can do that too. You know? But the fact that we never see it, that's the thing. With JD, how often earlier this season we see JD doing that, guys? JD trying to bring the ball up court and crossing over. JD trying to bring the ball up and trying to make a errant pass to Cade out of bounds. Now you got to go down. How many times we see that from JD just this year? We've seen those hot dog plays from JD more this year than we've seen from Stu since 2021 when he got drafted. That just shows you how mentally mature Isaiah Stewart is. That's what you make from that. Because he's always had that. You just don't see it because he's not willing to put his team at risk of getting a turnover by doing something that he doesn't usually do. But it's always been there. It's always been there. So Isaiah Stewart, man, that's going to be on ESPN Top 10. That is going to be on ESPN Top 10. And he just reminded everybody of why he's so valuable to this team. And if whoever said at the beginning of the year or last year that we should trade him, I hope you think differently now. Because if you don't, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. If you don't see how important he is to this team, maybe you guys now can understand why having a deep team. Now that some fans are beginning, because I know some fans run around for 04. You know, I understand you went around from in the bad boy. I get it. So for those who weren't around, this is what it looks like. It's not going to getting 2 or 3 stars and being top heavy. And if one guy gets hurt, you're done. This is not how we're built. It's not how we're built. So I've seen it. This is it. This is the formula. This is it. This is the recipe. Right now. What we have right now is how we're going to win if we're going to win. Just like this. So, yeah, man. Great game from Stu. Great game. Absolutely incredible game. He had so many highlight plays, dunks. But even aside from that, just his effort. Again, his effort, man. His finishing offensively has gotten so much better. This is what I said at the beginning of the year. I think Isaiah Stewart can be our Al Horford. Who remembers Al Horford at Atlanta? I think Al Horford went to one All-Star game. But he was not the most athletic player. He was not the fastest. He didn't jump the highest. He wasn't the biggest, but he was smart. He was sound on both ends of the floor. He was very high IQ player, very much a team player, great screener, great rebounder, great rim protector, right? And when he's open, he's going to make you pay from long range if you leave him open. That was Al Horford in Atlanta. And even the early years of Boston, even in OKC for that 1 year. That was Al Horford. That is what I think Isaiah Stewart is going to be. Maybe even better. Because defensively, his instincts at this stage in their careers are better than Al Horford. And he's actually quicker of foot than Al Horford was too. Tell you, man, this team, yes, DG, yes, Stu could be Al Horford light someday. For those who remember, I see you guys, yeah, well, you remember. Devon, you remember. Yeah, he was very, very good in Atlanta. He's still solid now. Yeah, he went to Boston twice. He went to Boston, then he went to OKC, and then came back to Boston. He went to OKC for like 1 year, and then came back, right? But he has always been that guy. Yeah, so I said it back in early this season that's his future, I think, for this team. Is that kind of player. A championship level winning basketball player. The Sixers. Okay, he went to the Sixers. He did go to OKC too, though. But he did go to the Sixers as well, for sure. All right. So, guys, that is the full, I know this was longer than usual. That is the full breakdown of my initial thoughts and of the box score. So now, at this point, guys, what I want to do now is take a look at the standings, and then we'll take a look at the schedule. I think I want to start with the standings first, though. Let's go to the standings first and see. Let me update this here, because there has been some shuffling, right? There has been some shuffling, and I don't know how to really feel about it. Honestly, guys, at this point, I don't really care about positioning. I'll explain why. And part of that reason to why I don't really care is what I saw tonight. Like, what I saw from this team tonight has me less concerned and less scoreboard watching when it comes to the standings. So let's take a look. So we just ended the Cleveland Cavaliers win streak. Hold that L. Thank you very much. And as of right now, we have won 3 straight. We are 10 games above 500 for the first time all year, guys. And here's another positive. Remember how I said before the Pistons were better on the road than at home? Not anymore. They're 21-16 in both environments. Great. Great improvement. Great improvement, man. And as of right now, the Pistons are ahead of the Milwaukee Bucks, who are reeling right now, large part because of Damian Lillard, who was their second best player, going down with the blood clot. Prayers and wishes to him. Hope he is okay on a personal level. On a basketball level, that changes things for the Pistons. Right? It greatly changes things for the Pistons. So as of right now, we are in the 5th seed, and we are a game and a half out of being tied with the Pacers for the 4th seed, who are really playing well. The Pacers have won 8 of the last 10. They're 8-2 in their last 10, and we're 7-3. So the only team better than us right now is who's in the playoff contention are the Celtics and the Pacers. That's it. You can count the Bulls if you want. I'm not concerned about them. But we're playing just about as well as everybody else in the Eastern Conference right now, which is great. Great sign. Great sign, man. So here's the thing, guys. I talked about who I want to play in the playoffs, right? I talked about what I want to see. I want to see the Knicks in the first round. I think the Pistons, I want them to stay the 6th seed because the Knicks were at 3, right? But after looking at how the Knicks are sliding and how quickly the Pacers are ascending, there's no guarantee that the Pacers don't move up to 3, right? There's no guarantee that they don't catch the Knicks. They're only 3 games back. I know that there's only 8 games left. But if they continue to slide and the Pacers continue to win, the Pacers could be at 3, the Knicks at 4. And the Pistons will play the Knicks, possibly. So my point is that I wanted to stay at 6, but there's no guarantee the Knicks are going to stay at 3. So I'm done. My point is that I'm done with I don't care who we play. I don't care who we play. I think it's going to come down to the wire. As far as who we play and where we play them, I think it's going to come down to the end of the season. Right? So I'm not really concerned about who we play anymore. The Knicks will make the most sense from a roster standpoint and a lineup standpoint, right? And a matchup standpoint, but I don't care. Like, it could go either way. It could be the Knicks at 3. It could be the Pacers at 3. Who knows? Right? So at this point, and I tweeted this earlier, I don't care about who we play. I care about how we play. That's all I care about. I don't care about who we play. I care about how we play. If we're playing like we played tonight, we can beat anybody. And I mean anybody. Right? We can push anybody to a 6 or 7 game series if we play like this. Like I said, experience may be the only thing keeping us from really advancing deep into the playoffs. But that will be the only thing. Because the effort, energy, and camaraderie and belief are all there. All those components are all there. So I'm not concerned. I'm not concerned whoever it is we play. I don't care. Let's just continue to win or lose. Let's just continue to play the same way, right? Muscle memory, knee-jerk reaction. It needs to be the same thing every game. And I think with these last 7 or 8 games remaining, we're going to see that. There's 8 games left. We're going to see, I think, this team play this way. Regardless of who's on the other side, regardless of who's available for this team, you're going to see that consistency every game. I believe that coach is going to demand that, and I don't think it's going to take much demanding from him because the Pistons are continuing to see that doing so wins you games, right? It wins you games. And if they do that, it will win you a playoff series and or 2. So we'll see. We'll see. Heisenberg Blue says, our deep bench is going to be an advantage for us in the playoffs. 100%. 100%. D-Dubs says, yeah, we've got our core 7 or 8. Cade, Ivy, JD, Asar, Beef Stew, Sasser, and Ron and Bobby might be in there too. Oh, Ron is definitely in there, and Bobby should be in there too for sure, D-Dubs. If they need to push on, we'll need our stronger pieces around them, our core. Nas Reed. Or somebody like that. D-Dubs, well said. Well said, brother. 100%. William Black says, do you think Atlanta can sneak into the playoffs? Milwaukee might actually slide to 7. I don't think they'll slide that far because I think the last 4 or 5 games of the year Bobby Portis is coming back. You gotta forget, remember, he's been gone too. He was out for substance abuse. I think it was accidental substance abuse that Portis missed like 20, 25 games. He's still suspended. But I think he comes back the last 4 or 5 games of the season. And I think when he gets back, he'll immediately help them, even with Dame out. So I don't think they'll slide that far, but that's the only reason. That's the only reason. I think they'll stay right where they are because the Hawks too, like they also, this is why I wasn't, okay, here's the thing, Will. I wasn't worried about the Hawks when the Pistons were at 6. Now the Pistons have been playing better than Milwaukee, obviously, yes. But what did I say about the Hawks? You guys were asking about the Hawks. The Hawks might catch it? No. When the Hawks were down, the Hawks were back 5 games with the Pistons. It was the same, like the Bucks and the Hawks were the Pistons and the Hawks like 2 weeks ago, right? And I was saying, no, I'm not worried about the Hawks. The Hawks are very inconsistent. They win 3 games and they lose 2. Then they lose 2 more and they win 3. Like, look at them right now. They lost 2 straight. Like, their consistency is inconsistency. It's been that way all year. So I don't think the Bucks will fall that far. I think they'll stay right where they are at 6 or 5. And I don't really see them getting to 5 with the Pistons playing where they are right now. So I think we're going to be at 5 or 4. And the Bucks are going to stay at 6. So we'll see. And that's the thing. It's going to be impossible to kind of project because it's going to be changing every other game. We don't know who's going to do what at what point in time. We just don't know, you know? So it's hard to say. Yeah, but that's where I'm at, guys. I think the Pistons are in good shape. Regardless of who they play, just keep playing the same way. And it's just incredible to see when ESPN shows these like standings and these playoff pictures. It's cool to see, even though we're at the bottom, it's cool to see the Pistons at the 5th seed, at least in the frame, because they'll show like 1 through 5, 1 through 4, and you won't see the remaining 4 teams who are in the hunt. So it's nice to see the Pistons on those graphics. It's cool to see them in the mix, right? At the bottom for now, right? But fine. But we're in the mix. People are seeing our logo. They're seeing the team's name. They're seeing the team getting talked about. That all goes into the respect piece nationally for the casual fans. So it's just nice to see that. It's good to see that. All right. So last thing, guys, let's go ahead and go to the schedule and look at the remaining games for the Pistons. And then after that, guys, we will call it a night because we were pushing 2 hours, which is what I was trying to avoid. But we had a lot to get to. So whatever. It is what it is, right? All right. So let's go to the schedule. As of right now, the Pistons are winners of 3 straight. And they go 3-0 on their homestand. So we talked about it a few games back when the Pistons were playing the Pelicans. We were saying they should beat, or the Mavericks. We were saying they should beat the Pelicans. They should beat the Spurs. And I said, if they lose to the Cavs and the T-Wolves and or the Thunder, I won't be upset as long as they play the way they're playing right now and they play hard and they don't get blown out and they play them close. Because these are all 3 quality opponents. The Cavs, the T-Wolves are surging right now, and the Thunder, right? So off to a good start. 3-0 on the homestand. Got to go back on the road now for 3 straight, right? The Pistons, they play the T-Wolves, Thunder, and Raptors in back-to-back games, right? And they're not back-to-back as far as night in, night out, but those are the games they got to play. On Sunday, the T-Wolves, on Wednesday, the Thunder, and on Friday, the Raptors before they come back home to the Grizzlies. So after that, they got the Grizzlies, the Kings, the Knicks, and the Bucks twice. It would be brutal to play the Bucks in playoffs because you could potentially play them 9 times. 9 times. I am not trying to play no team 9 times. DG says Naz Reid might gave the Pigeons audition. Yeah, I want to, bro. That's why I'm watching that game. I want to see how he looks against the Pistons, right? I hope he don't go off. But the thing, like I'm not looking for him to have a crazy game either way. I'm just looking to see, like, I've been watching him since he played with the what was it, last year or 2 years ago? Last year, he really caught my eye. When I saw how he looked against the Denver Nuggets, the then defending champions, when he was a big part of the reason why in Game 7 on the road, the T-Wolves were down 20 points and flipped the script in the second half, shut down the Nuggets and blew them out in the second half in Game 7 on the road. He was a big part of that. Big part of that. And from there, that really he caught my eye because I was going for the Nuggets. I wanted the Nuggets to repeat. And Naz Reid was a huge part defensively of why they were able to shut them down and win that series on the road against the defending champions. So I want to see how Naz Reid just looks. I want to see how he looks. I've been watching him all season long. I've been watching him all year. And he's continued to look great. He looks great. So I think he's that perfect piece that we could potentially add when we're ready to contend. Anyway, all right, so we'll leave that there. Let me read these comments. Do we know when? We don't know Heisenberg yet when Cade is getting back. I would imagine the next couple games. I think he'll play the last couple games of the year. maybe 1 or 2 games to end the season. That's kind of what I see. I really don't think anything is serious going on with his calf. I don't. I just think that he is just taking his time to get back. I'm not too concerned, but we'll see. We'll see, right? We're getting towards the end of the season. You're seeing a lot of guys around the league take games off, get some rest, much needed rest. And after the year that Cade has had, he's been our star all year. He's put up numbers and done things for his team we have not seen all year. So I'm not mad with him having a game or 2 off, 3, whatever. Get to 100%. The Pistons have shown that they can not just win games, but look like a very sound basketball team without him. So when he comes back, he'll probably get a couple games at the end of the season to shake the rust off, make sure there's still some oil, on those wheels, and just kind of go from there. Because the Pistons need to be a well-oiled machine going to the playoffs. And I think they will do whatever they're supposed to do to make sure that they are ready to do that. So we'll leave it there. Great stream, great show with you guys as always. Looking forward to the next game. Like I mentioned, the next game the Pistons play is against the T-Wolves on Sunday at 7 p.m. So we'll be back here around 10 o'clock to break that game down. Hopefully, we'll be addressing and talking about the Pistons winning their 4th straight game and then seeing how we look in the standings when it comes to that. So as always, I appreciate you guys for showing up and showing out. You guys always show me love. Make sure you like it, subscribe, and drop a comment. Show some love to your boy. And as always, I will see you guys next show in Detroit versus everybody. Peace.